Durag Wisdom here, folks, and it is Earth Date Y2K 18.11.08, just 2 days after the election. And the reality show Tushie Trump never wanted. And the reason I'm calling him Tushie Trump is because of his face. He's got those cheeks and that little mouth, so, and all the crap that comes out of it. So I've decided to add another nickname to that creep. I'm going to call him Tushie Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, do not let any conservative pundit downgrade the victory progressives and the resistance achieved. Yes, it was not a tsunami. I never expected that. It would not happen that way because of Trumpist cheating. They rig our elections. The Democrats took the House in a mini tsunami, a near miracle despite Trumpist voter suppression, Trumpist Citizens United, Trumpist gerrymandering. And have no fear, ladies and gentlemen, if the Democrats don't F up, in 2020, the Trumpists are facing a battle for about 20 or so Senate seats, with the Democrats just having to defend around 8 or so. I did not expect the stench of Trumpism to be eliminated in this election, but it was critically wounded more so than the conservative pundits would have you believe. Michigan, a victim of Trumpist poison because of totalitarian policies, their water was poisoned with lead, will now enjoy a Democratic governor. Wisconsin, suffering for years under a teabagger creep named Scott Walker, is now finally free of him. Maine, another besieged state, is now free under a Democratic governor. My state, New York, re-elected its middle-of-the-road to the right Republican governor, Cuomo, as well as turning our entire legislature over to Democrats, including the long-sought-after Senate. All of this was accomplished despite Citizens United, the Koch brothers, gerrymandering, and voter suppression. Imagine if we had unrigged elections that we are supposed to have in our free country. If that would have happened, I believe that the liberals and the Democrats would clean up. The U.S. Congress is now going to be more diverse than ever, including more female congresspeople and more congresspeople of color, with the power to hold this traitorous birther bastard Tushie Trump in check. This is a reality show that the Tushie Trump never wanted. Yes, our side had some bitter losses. At this writing, I am still hoping that uncalled races go to the Democrats, including to Stacey Abrams. I did not expect our side to do well in Tushie Trump country. The stench is still there, ladies and gentlemen. The evil stench is still there. Nevertheless, most losses experienced by Democrats were all in close, razor-thin races. I believe that this Beto O'Rourke may run for president. I don't know in 2020, but soon. The Trumpist party is going down, but not without a fight. And in light of our victory in the Congress, our side is up to that bitter fight. I hope that you understand, I hope that everyone understands that nothing really is going to get done over the next 2 years unless another Supreme Court or lower court justice dies. Goddess forbid. Presidential appointments are up to the Senate, and sadly, because of this rigged system, we now have a Senate that, now more than ever, is Trumpist, traitorous, and a bunch of tushies. Again, if the Democrats don't F up, by 2020 the rest of that promised tsunami will arrive. In the meantime, we have a divided country. On one side Americans, and on the other Trumpist tushies. We don't have a GOP anymore right now. That party is now being held hostage. There are real conservatives out there who have to stand up and take their party back. Don't go on TV and say, we're not conservative, we're not Republicans anymore, we're not Republicans anymore. You're Republicans, but you're not Trumpists. The Trumpists are in charge of that party now. You're Republicans, and call yourself the McCain Coalition and stop saying, at least the Democrats hold some critical power again. And they must prosecute Tushie Trump for the corruption and treason he has brought to our country, But they must also attempt to legislate. Get some legislation out there, including infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, our infrastructure compared to other countries like Japan is in the Stone Age, maybe even before. Japan has a cross-country railroad with trains that go around 200 miles an hour, give or take. They've developed a kind of railroad track that can stand up to this kind of technology. Our railroad tracks can barely handle the trains they have now. I would love to see high-speed rail here. But here's the problem with legislation. This Tushie Trump traitor that we have in office wants to be dictator. He's the gangster. I mean, he really thinks he's the ultimate gangster, but, you know, if he were to take over our country, Putin would be his boss. So whether he likes it or not, he's not on top of the pile like he thinks he is. He's just part of the pile. In fact, he's given my whole country piles. Oh, we need some X-lax. He needs to be impeached, of course. If the Democrats have to sell their souls to the Tushie freak in order to get legislation out there, then they must decline and take the war footing that the reality show Tushie is threatening us with if we retaliate. If nothing is getting done in Congress this year, it is because the Democratic Party is protecting us from the draconian agenda the Trumpists have for us. Because in the Congress, they make all the, the oversight, the investigations, things like that. So they're not going to get away with stuff that they think they're going to get away with. The only thing, again, that the Democrats will not be able to stop is if another Supreme Court justice retires or dies. God is forbid. Tushie Trump will again get his pick, whether we like it or not. Meanwhile, there was another mass shooting today, this time in Southern California in Thousand Oaks. And Tushie Trump fired Jeff Cracker Sessions from being Attorney General, setting off the constitutional crisis we've all been dreading. Because the person he's replaced him with, Baldy Whitaker, is a cold, stone-hearted Trumpist who has an agenda against the Mueller investigation. He said so publicly, and of course if he refuses to recuse himself from the Mueller investigation or from being involved with it from his past statements, he will be investigated by the Democrats. In the cold civil and political war ahead, we have to win, and the Trumpists must lose. Our side respects our rule of constitutional law, while our enemies only want the rule of thugs. I mean, look at the way they talk. He's trying to clean up. He's so upset over the fact that, this whole thing with the Democrats, winning, stabbing him. He's going to put, he's putting into action clean up the House. Clean up the, make sure the Mueller investigation is shoved under the rug. They don't have to fire him. Whitaker just said just to choke him off with the funds. We got gangsters in our government. Freaking gangsters. We have to get our law back. We have to get our Justice Department back. We have to get our country back. Look, with apologies to those who support Tushie Trump, for our country to win, we must eradicate Trumpism for all time and never, ever take children away from their parents and lock them up in cages ever again. See you all on the front lines.